Naruto, God-level system author, Blue Water God. Chapter 51 Help Mikoto open a kaleidoscope. Mikoto, do you want to turn on a kaleidoscope writing wheel? Xianchen suddenly asked Mikoto. Kushina and Tsunade's eyes were also attracted by Xianchen's words. Turn on the kaleidoscope. Do you have a solution? Tsunade came over and asked, wrapping his arms around his neck. Of course there is a way, even if you have a pair of writing wheel eyes, I can also open the kaleidoscope for you. Xianchen said proudly. Chen, didn't you say that after the kaleidoscope is turned on, with the gradual use, the kaleidoscope will become blind? Mikoto asked worriedly. What she cares about is not blindness, but after blindness, she will no longer be able to see Xianchen. It's okay. A solution has been found. Xianchen said with a smile. Ha ha ha. The kaleidoscope will make you blind. Where did you hear the fake news? It made me laugh to death. Who told you that the kaleidoscope will blind you? Tsunade asked with a big smile. Chen said it, isn't it? Of course it's not right. Madara Uchiha also turned on the kaleidoscope writing wheel eye, but I have never heard that he is blind. Chen, you don't hear any fake news. Tsunade rubbed Xianchen's head with his hand. Xianchen pushed her hand away angrily, and then straightened her hair. The head can be broken. The blood can flow, but the hair can't be messed up. Mikoto, let's ignore him. We think we understand very well. In fact, we don't know anything. If you are ignorant, don't talk. Saying it will only make people laugh. Even the Uchiha family doesn't know how to open their eyes. How would you know? Tsunade thought that this should be Xianchen reading some books somewhere, and then she thought she understood Sharingan, but she didn't dare to let Xianchen mess with it. Xianchen was depressed, saying that I was ignorant, and it was clearly you who was ignorant. Sister Tsunade, I believe in Chen. Mikoto shook her head at Tsunade, then looked at Xianchen firmly. Xianchen suddenly became complacent and looked at Tsunade with smug eyes. See, Mikoto still believes me. Damn, seeing your proud face, I want to punch you in the face. Tsunade gritted his teeth and said, you don't want to hurt Mikoto. Tsunade finally reminded. Don't worry. How could I be willing to hurt Mikoto? Xianchen replied with a guilty conscience. After that, I really want to make Mikoto suffer a little bit. I hope Mikoto won't hit herself by then. Mikoto is so gentle, shouldn't she? Xianchen took out a kunai and placed it in Mikoto's hand. Although Mikoto was puzzled, she reached out to take it. Mikoto, in fact, the way to open the kaleidoscope is. Pucci. The kunai in Mikoto's hands was grabbed by Xianchen and stabbed into her chest. Mikoto looked at Xianchen stupidly, looking at this scene with a look of horror and disbelief on her face. Chen, There were tears of pain in Mikoto's eyes, and the writing wheel opened subconsciously, and the three-hook jade spun rapidly. Seeing the blood on her hands, and seeing Xianchen lying in her arms, and feeling Xianchen's disappearing body temperature, Mikoto completely collapsed. Chen, I don't want you to die. Mikoto shouted loudly. The three jade writing wheel eyes were connected together, and a pair of cherry blossom-shaped kaleidoscope writing wheel eyes appeared in Mikoto's eyes. But Mikoto didn't notice it. She just hugged Xianchen with a painful look on her face. Chen, you're joking opposite me. I don't want you to be in trouble. I won't turn on the kaleidoscope. Can you come back to life? Mikoto's face was full of pain. Seeing the kunai in her hand, Mikoto stabbed her chest without hesitation. Just as he was about to stab himself, a big hand grabbed Mikoto's. Mikoto looked at Xianchen in her arms with surprise and excitement, tears of surprise on her face. Mikoto, the illusion is over. Xianchen, who was lying in Mikoto's arms, said with a smile. After Xianchen finished speaking, the surrounding space shattered and the environment changed drastically. Mikoto looked at Xianchen who was standing in front of her without the slightest injury, and threw herself into his arms. Chen, tell me if this is a dream. Mikoto hugged Xianchen and looked at Xianchen with anticipation on her face. The illusion just now was so real that she couldn't tell the difference. She just wanted to pray that everything just now was an illusion. Of course it's not a dream. It was just a dream, a nightmare. Now that you've woken up, what you have to face is a better tomorrow. Xianchen hugged Mikoto tightly and said distressedly. In fact, he didn't want Mikoto to go through this, but it was the only way he could think of. Mikoto is different from other Uchiha clan people. She is gentle and kind, and other Uchiha clan people are simply two extremes, so it is even more difficult to open the kaleidoscope. Xianchen had no choice but to use illusions on Mikoto, let her experience pain in the illusions, and then activate the kaleidoscope through stimulation. What's wrong with you, Mikoto? Turn on the kaleidoscope writing wheel. You should be happier. Kushina came over and looked at Mikoto suspiciously. From her and Tsunade's point of view, when Chen walked in front of Mikoto, Mikoto suddenly turned on the kaleidoscope, and then burst into tears, crying into Chen's arms. Let them both still feel inexplicable now. Did you really help Mikoto open the kaleidoscope writing wheel? Tsunade couldn't believe what he saw. Chen, this matter must not be disclosed, otherwise not only the Uchiha family, but also other people will trouble you. Tsunade became serious. If it is revealed that Xianchen can open the kaleidoscope, The Uchiha family will definitely send someone to tie him. The high-level Konoha who does not want the Uchiha family to have a kaleidoscope will definitely send someone to assassinate him or imprison him. In short, as long as it is exposed, it will only do harm to Rixianchin, not any good. Rixianchin smiled and didn't say anything. He knew Tsunade was good to him, but Rixianchin didn't care anymore. With his current strength, he was not afraid of anyone making trouble. Sorry Mikoto. Chen looked at Mikoto in his arms apologetically. What happened? In an instant, Mikoto's kaleidoscope was turned on. This kaleidoscope is too worthless. Tsunade couldn't help but complain. Mikoto's eyes are so beautiful, like a cherry blossom that is about to bloom. Kushina's focus was completely different from Tsunade. Please don't do this in the future. I'm really scared. Really scared. Mikoto raised her head and looked at Chen with tears in her eyes. I promise, this will never happen in the future. Rixianchin patted his chest and assured, TSK, you look so affectionate, I'm envious. Tsunade's eyes flashed a hint of envy that was hard to detect. Kushina pouted. Even though she was ready to serve with Mikoto, she couldn't help but feel jealous. Only at this time did Mikoto stop her emotions and shyly buried her head in Rixianchin's arms. The experience in the illusion just now had a considerable impact on Mikoto. Now Mikoto is holding Rixianchin's hand and is reluctant to let go, for fear that if she lets go of Rixianchin, she will disappear. Chapter 52, Eternal Kaleidoscope Perverted Pupil Technique. Mikoto, this is for you. Rixianchin took out a green potion and handed it to Mikoto. What a powerful life energy. What is this? Tsunade came over, and he could feel the powerful life force through the bottle of Tsunade. Can you study it for me? No. This is for Mikoto to evolve her eyes, and you can't study anything. Rixianchin shook his head firmly. Even Tsunade couldn't study this. The things that come out of the system, research is useless. Anyway, research can't come up with anything. This medicine is drawn during the lottery, and the mall can't buy it at all. At first, Rixianchin thought it was the same as the one in the mall, but yesterday, Rixianchin looked at the introduction and found that this potion could not only evolve the wheel eye, but also obtain the body of a fairy. This is even more precious. If the mall has this potion, it will definitely cost more than 700,000 exchange points. Therefore, it is impossible for Rixianchin to study for Tsunade. This is related to Mikoto's eyes. What if the study is scrapped? Sister, in vain. I've been so good to you, don't let me study it now. Tsunade said angrily, feeling a little sad. It's okay Chen, let's show Tsunade-san. Mikoto said. No, I got it with great difficulty. If the research fails, what can you do with your eyes, Mikoto? Everything else is fine, but this one is absolutely impossible. Rixianchin was extremely determined. HMPH. If you give it to me, I can definitely return 10 bottles to you. Tsunade said confidently. In her opinion, since Rixianchin has this potion, it must have been researched by others, and she believes that she is no weaker than anyone else. Ha ha. Rixianchin chuckled twice, clearly not believing Tsunade. Tsunade was so angry that he squeezed Rixianchin's cheeks with both hands and kneaded it so hard that it deformed Rixianchin's cheeks. You stinky brat, you're not as cute as you used to be. Tsunade said unhappily. Sister Tsunade, don't blame me, this potion is very important to Mikoto, and I can't say his origin, it's impossible to copy. Rixianchin took Tsunade's hand away and said to Tsunade seriously. I don't mean to blame you, it's just that you don't believe in my ability, which makes me very unhappy. Tsunade said dissatisfied. It's not that I don't believe you, let's just say it. This bottle of potion can even give a person the chance to awaken. Would done. And you think you can copy it? Rixianchin said with a wry smile. Rixianchin is not wrong, although this is a kaleidoscope evolution potion, but it can make people have the body of an immortal, and it is a real immortal body. Is Mu done born? Tsunade was silent this time. If she could really let her have Mu done, then she really couldn't replicate this potion. She still had this self-knowledge. Mikoto, hurry up and take it. In the future, I might be able to hang Madara Uchiha and become the strongest ninja in the Uchiha family. Rixianchin handed the potion to Mikoto. Yeah. Mikoto didn't hesitate, opened the lid, raised her head and drank. After taking the medicine, Mikoto felt that her cells were extremely active, her chakra began to soar, and her pupil power was increasing rapidly, almost infinite. The pattern of the eyes changed again. If Mikoto's eyes were cherry blossoms that had not bloomed just now, they are now fully blooming cherry blossoms. The powerful pupil power burst out, causing Tsunade and Kushina to be forced back several steps, looking at Mikoto in shock. The kaleidoscope shaker can really evolve. Feeling the pressure from Mikoto, Tsunade was extremely shocked. Don't think that Tsunade is the princess of the Kainzu clan, but she doesn't know much about the writing wheel eye of the old rival clan. Not many people in the entire ninja world know about the eternal kaleidoscope shaker, and almost all of them are dead. Otherwise, why do you think Madara Uchiha is fighting with your grandfather? If there is no eternal kaleidoscope, he will not be hammered by your grandfather. Rixianchin complained. Speaking of which, Madara Uchiha is also a tragedy, and has always been pressed by a large pillar. That's it, Madara Uchiha, how could he be my grandfather's opponent? Tsunade said slightly meanly. At this time, Mikoto's eyes have evolved into an eternal kaleidoscope. The number and quality of chakras have increased dramatically, and her strength has been forcibly upgraded to quasi-shadow. If it wasn't for her young age, Mikoto would now be at the shadow level. How does Mikoto feel? Ruxianchan asked. It feels very powerful. I feel that my pupil power is endless, and the chakra has skyrocketed more than 10 times. I feel that Tsunade's sister is not my opponent. Mikoto smiled mischievously. You're really right, Tsunade will never beat you. Ruxianchan nodded in agreement. Humphrey. Tsunade snorted unhappily, but did not refute. If it was Mikoto from Kaleidoscope before, Tsunade still has confidence, but she really has no confidence in Mikoto, whose strength is soaring now. Mikoto, what are the abilities of your 2 kaleidoscopes? Ruxianchan asked curiously. Sharingan is the eye that portrays the soul, and almost everyone is born with different techniques. There are some kaleidoscope pupil techniques, but they are very abnormal. For example, Yukai Huabato's Shenwei, and Yukai Hashizui's other gods, are all very sky-defying pupil techniques. So Ruxianchan is very curious about the pupil technique born by Mikoto. The left eye is the cherry blossom blade, which can release countless cherry blossoms, and the cherry blossoms are all transformed by the blade, and can control the cherry blossom blade to strangle the enemy. Mikoto first introduced the ability of the left eye. By the way, I will also demonstrate that the countless falling cherry blossoms are extremely beautiful, but there is a hidden murderous intention in the beauty. Under the control of Mikoto, the rock can be easily crushed. Seeing this familiar attack, Ruxianchan was stunned. Isn't this the ability of Dabai Zanpei Kuto Senbon Tsura? It's so beautiful. If only I had such abilities. Kushina was even more envious, and couldn't help complaining about why he wasn't a member of the Uchiha family. The attack is too scattered. It looks gorgeous, but the attack power is insufficient. Ruxianchan gave a very pertinent evaluation. Mikoto smiled. She was very satisfied with this pupil technique, or that no woman disliked it. My right-eye pupil technique is nothing. As long as it is something I don't agree with, it will become an illusion. Mikoto whispered another pupil technique. This time, including Ruxianchan, everyone was sluggish. Anything not recognized by Mikoto will become fake. This pupil technique is too perverted and can be compared with Ruxianchan's pupil technique. Takatani-yuan. How can there be such a perverted pupil technique? Tsunade couldn't believe it. Is this still an ability that humans can use? I'm afraid this is not the power of God. Very strong, very strong. Even I am envious. Ruxianchan didn't know what to say. Thinking of the scene when Mikoto opened her eyes, it was understandable that Ruxianchan had such a pupil technique for Mikoto. Sharingan is the eye that portrays the soul, because Mikoto doesn't believe that Ruxianchan will die, and she doesn't want to believe that Ruxianchan is dead, so she gave birth to such a perverted pupil technique. Chapter 53. The idea of fighting the tail beast. Such a powerful pupil technique must consume a lot of money, right? Ruxianchan asked Mikoto. Yeah, my current chakra and tongue light can be used up to twice a day. Mikoto nodded lightly. Is that right? If you can use this pupil technique infinitely, wouldn't it be invincible? Kushina said. Is this the ability of Sharingan? It's too powerful. I really don't know how my grandfather defeated Madara Uchiha. Tsunade also admired him at this moment. Haha tilde if you have seen Kaienzu's divine ability, you should admire Madara Uchiha. Under that kind of perverted magic, you can still fight with Kaienzu's Yujian. Ruxianchan complained in his heart. Thousand-handed supernatural powers are really perverted. In the entire Naruto world, there are very few who can play thousands of hands. Just that size can make people desperate. If you can beat Uchiha Madara and Nine Tails together, you can see the power of this ninjutsu, and Uchiha Madara is also suffering. Tsunade, do you know when the Nine Tails will be transferred? Ruxianchan suddenly asked a question, which directly made Tsunade stupid. How did you know? Tsunade can't be surprised without being surprised. The whole Konoha doesn't know much about this. If it wasn't for the granddaughter of Uzumaki Maito, she might not have known about the transfer of Nine Tails. Ruxianchan pretended to be mysterious and said, there are absolutely not many things I don't know in the entire ninja world. Forget it, I know you won't say it, and I don't ask how you know that, but why are you asking this? You must make it clear. Tsunade looked serious. Mikoto and Kushina stopped talking as if they sensed something subtle, and looked at Ruxianchan and Tsunade. Ruxianchan didn't mean to hide, and said very directly, I'm playing the idea of Nine-Tailed Chakra, which is very important to me. No. The idea of fighting the Nine Tails in Konoha village. I think you are crazy, and my grandmother is still a nine-tailed person. This is absolutely not possible. Tsunade sternly refused. Sister Tsunade, although I'm a little sorry, but I must get the chakra of the Nine Tails. Ruxianchan smiled apologetically at Tsunade. If he wanted to cultivate into the six-path mode, the only way that Ruxianchan thought of was to gather the chakras of the nine-tailed beasts, or the chakras of the ten-tailed beasts, and then integrate the power of the six paths. Ruxianchan's Tensei contains the power of the six paths. As long as there are ten-tailed chakras, Xianchen has the confidence to open the 6 Paths mode and completely enter the 6 Paths level, instead of relying on the pseudo 6 Paths of the Tensagon Chakra mode. So you must get the chakra of the 9-tailed beast, and then fuse it into the 10-tailed chakra. Chen, let's end this matter. Once your intention to play 9 tails is exposed, even I can't protect you, and 9 tails is not a sheep to be slaughtered. It is a huge disaster. Tsunade persuaded Road. Don't worry, Sister Tsunade, I won't make you embarrassed. If the 9 tails seal is successful, I will withdraw directly. If the seal fails, can I take another shot? Okay, I can agree. But you have to prove that you have the strength, otherwise I won't watch you go to death. Seeing Xianchen's determined attitude, Tsunade finally nodded. She understands Xianchen's character, and what she believes must be done. Even if she stops it, it is impossible to stop it. Now Mikoto can treat the 9 tails as a pet, let alone me. I will never do anything I am not sure about. Xianchen chuckled lightly. The location is the mountain behind Konoha, and the time is 10 days later. At that time, almost all of Konoha's advanced combat power will go. You have to be careful. Tsunade knew that he couldn't stop it, so he could only remind him to be careful. Also, you must not make trouble. If you hurt my grandma, I'll never finish with you. Tsunade warned. This time she was serious. Although Tsunade knew that her grandmother would die, she didn't want her grandmother's death to be related to Xianchen, otherwise she really didn't know how to face Xianchen. Don't worry, unless the 9 tails break free and run away, I will definitely not shoot. Xianchen nodded. Even if there is no chance this time, there will be opportunities in the future. In fact, with Xianchen's 10 seconds investigative ability, even if Tsunade didn't say it, he would know the movements of the 9 tails. But Xianchen still chose to say it, because he didn't want to have any estrangement with Tsunade. Don't rush up recklessly, Konoha's strength is very strong, I don't want to see you get caught, and I don't know how to save you then. There are still a lot of people who can beat me, but almost none of them can beat me. Don't worry, you can run even if you can't beat me. Xianchen said confidently. With the space ability and the speed of light moving, absolutely no one can outrun him. Xianchen has absolute confidence in this point, and his ability to escape is very strong. Why do you want to get 9-tailed chakra? Do you also want to become a Manjulai? Tsunade was very curious about this, and did not understand why Xianchen was obsessed with 9-tailed chakra. This is a secret, I won't tell you for the time being. I not only want to fight the 9-tailed idea, I am also fighting the idea of other tailed beasts. Xianchen's eyes flickered. You really dare to think? Do you know what the tailed beast means? Tsunade was angry. In Tsunade's opinion, Xianchen was trying to die. The tailed beast is the foundation of a village. Some people can indeed be singled out with a tailed beast, but on the battlefield, 10 ninjas with the same strength as the tailed beast are not as effective as one tailed beast. The tailed beast is the trump card of a village. No matter which village it is very important to look at. This move by Xianchen is against the entire ninja world. Seeing Xianchen's firm appearance, Tsunade knew that he couldn't persuade him, so he could only sigh. Let's disband today, and you can cultivate on your own these days. Now the local war has started, and there is no task. Originally, the purpose of instructing Jonin was to teach students various skills, but in the previous battle, Tsunade found that Kushina and Mikoto had strong fighting skills, and there was no need to teach them. Xianchen is stronger than her. Where do you need her to teach? Now, because of the eagerness of various countries, the tasks of ninjas are also much less. Although the war has not yet officially started, it is already on the eve of the coming storm, and the storm may pour down at any time. Each village has entered a period of alert, and it is possible to reach the battlefield at any time, and then a full-scale conflict will break out. Tsunade was very busy at this time, or in other words, none of Konoha's joinin was not busy. Therefore, the students of Xianchen and the others are out of luck. Shangnin has no time to teach you at all. It can only be said that the time of birth was not good. These have nothing to do with Xianchen. He happily brought his 2 daughters home. Xianchen had moved away from the Hyuga family. With the money he won at the casino, and the money of a rich little lady, Mikoto, he bought a large one outside. Courtyard. Chapter 54. 9 Tails come out. 10 days have passed in a blink of an eye, and today's Konoha seems to be the same as usual. But secretly personnel are frequently mobilized, and Ampu ninjas come out of their nests all over Konoha to prevent outsiders from making trouble. The replacement of people and pillars is not a trivial matter. If one is not good, the whole village will explode. When night came, some reddish moon hung in the sky, filled with an ominous atmosphere, and the 3 generations of Hokage Sarutobi Hizen looked solemn. Even the rare Danzo led the members of the route to be vigilant around them. Okimaru, Tsunade, and Rijuru, who had not yet obtained the title of Sennin, all waited solemnly. 9-tailed is the strongest of all tailed beasts, and he is an absolute super shadow class. If it is not for Shiranian to restrain the tailed beast, or Yukai Hamadara wants to subdue 9-tailed, it will take some effort. Once the 9 tails really run wild, to be honest, no one can stop the current Konoha, unless the ghoul seal is used, the sealing technique that perishes together. Mito-san, everything is up to you. Sarutobi Hizen bowed slightly to Uzumaki Mito. Grandma. Tsunade had tears in her eyes. The human column force was extracted from the tailed beast, and there was only one end, and that was death. Ha ha. Tsuna doesn't need to be sad. Since the Warring States period, I have also experienced ups and downs. I think Hasuma waited for me to wait. Uzumaki Mito said with a smile. Now that she has looked down on life and death, while she still has some strength, she will complete the handover of human and pillar power, otherwise it will be Konoha who will be unlucky when the 9 tails are broken. Konoha village is Hashima's hard work, and Uzumaki Mito doesn't want Konoha village to be destroyed. Protect the Nawaki well, he is the hope of our Kaienzu family, the seal of the 4 elephants. Release. Uzumaki Mito instantly released the seal. Evil chakra overflowed, and everyone felt a sense of depression. This evil and tyrannical chakra, full of murderous hatred and negative emotions, made everyone, including Hiruzen Sarutobi, terrified. Warm me up, the seal class is ready to seal the 9 tails at any time. Sarutobi Hizen's face was solemn. Damn Konoha, Uchiha Madara, Senju Hasuma, Uzumaki clan, I finally came out, I want you to die. 9 tails Yangshin shouted, venting the anger in his heart. With a body size of 50 or 60 meters, the surrounding ninjas are desperate, and this is still 9 tails on all fours. 9-tailed, before the old body can't move, you should stop it for me. Because the tailed beast was separated from the body, the life energy was pouring out, and the whirlpool Mito's hair had begun to dry and white. But a restrained momentum burst out. That huge chakra was shocking, and countless chakra chains appeared, tying the 9 tails that had just come out into a zongtsai. Damn you Uzumaki Mito, don't try to lock me back, I want to be free. 9 tails kept roaring and struggling. Tomoko is a gentle and kind child, I hope she can influence you. Uzumaki Mito made a seal with both hands and used the seal of the 4 elephants. The sealing class next to him also helped, and wanted to seal the 9 tails on Tomoko. Uzumaki on the side. Looking at Juwai who was constantly struggling, Rick Xianchin sighed in the distance. Isn't this guy going to be awesome in the future? How can I be as embarrassed as a dog now? It seems that it is impossible to get the chakra of the 9 tails this time, so I have to wait. After sighing, Rick Xianchin was about to leave. At this moment, things took a turn for the better. 9 tails suddenly exerted strength, broke free from the blockade of King Kong at once, and swept Uzumaki Mito out of the tail at once. Uzumaki Mito, who was about to run out of oil, had only one breath left because of the 9 tails attack, and was unable to seal the 9 tails at all. Grandma. Tsunade hugged Uzumaki Mito with sadness on his face, and looked at 9 tails with hatred. Uzumaki Mito smiled slightly. There's no need to hate the 9 tails, it's not bad in nature, it's just human greed that makes it not believe in humans. I owe it to me for imprisoning it for so many years. If it wants to leave, let it go. After speaking, Uzumaki Mito closed his eyes with a smile. Realizing that Uzumaki Mito had no breath, Kyuubi was silent for a while, and then said, I didn't want to kill you myself, but you forced me. Looking at the crowd of Konoha, the 9-tailed breath burst out, like the chakra of the ocean, blowing out the ninja who still wanted to seal it. Looking at Uzumaki Mito's face, let me leave, I won't kill you. 9 tails fluttered with their tails, and their eyes were proud. Without Senju Hasuma and Uchiha Madara, Kyo didn't think Konoha could stop it. If you want to go, how is it possible? Give me a hand to take down the 9 tails. Danzo directly ordered to do it. Sarutobi Hizen was silent, tacitly acknowledging Danzo's words. Konoha couldn't lose his 9 tails. I didn't expect things to take a turn for the better. Rick Xianchin looked at the situation on the field, and the steps he had already taken. He retreated. The greedy and despicable human beings, delusional to gain my power, is simply delusional. The 9 tails were extremely furious, but they did not expect these greedy humans to seek death. A dozen ninjas flew with one claw, and then the ultimate chakra gathered, mixed and compressed into a super dense ball in the mouth at the ratio of yin and yang of 2 to 8. No, it's the tailed beast Jade. Everyone hurry up and avoid it. Sarutobi Hizen went up to him with a stick. He actually knew that what he was shouting was nonsense. How to avoid the tailed beast Jade? He could only stop it forcibly, otherwise few ninjas here would be able to live. Although Sarutobi Hizen couldn't resist the tailed beast Jade, he could forcibly change his direction. Spirituality Triple Rashomon. 3 huge portals rose up, with the heads of evil ghosts printed on them, just like the gates of hell. Sarutobi Hizen knew that the Triple Rashomon couldn't stop the tailed beast Jade, and then said to the ape demon who turned into a King Kong Ruai a stick, Old man, it's up to you next. Sarutobi. You are killing me. I can only block it for a while, and the rest is up to you. Sarutobi said, and then his head turned into the shape of a shovel. At this time, the tailed beast Jade has already been issued, and the 3-legged Rashomon is smashed like a broken bamboo, and it hits the rear, and the trajectory is only deviated a little. Sarutobi Hizen was extremely dignified, jumped up with a shovel, and then shoveled the huge tailed beast Jade into the sky. making the tailed beast Jade completely deviated from the track and flew into the sky. And the ape demon was directly beaten back to the psychic world, and the 3-generation-old man couldn't bear the power and flew back with blood spurting. Jiraiya quickly caught Hiruzen Sarutobi, otherwise, Hiruzen Sarutobi might have been thrown to his death, becoming the first shadow to fall to his death. Cough cough. Attack quickly, don't give him a chance, Sarutobi Hizen said after coughing out a few mouthfuls of old blood. Attack me, Danzo roared, and then took the lead in attacking the Ninetales. Although Danzo's character is not very good, his strength is not weak, especially Danzo who is in his prime. Chapter 55 Complete Body Suzu vs Ninetales. The shovel that the monkey demon turned into is really powerful. I don't know how my golden shovel is. Rixianchin took out a golden shovel, which was obtained by lottery a few years ago. CF's golden shovel can only be used for collection. Eggs are useless. Tsunade, now is not the time to be sad. Hurry up and stop Ninetales. Once he is allowed to enter the village, it will be troublesome. Sarutobi Hizen shouted to Tsunade who was still sad. Grandma said that if Ninetales wants to go, let him go. Sarutobi Hizen was silent, and it was impossible to let the Ninetales leave. This was the ultimate weapon that threatened other shinobi villages. How could it be possible for the Ninetales to leave? Tsunade, you know the situation of Konoha. Now the border is about to move. Even the small country of Rain is very ambitious and wants to become the 6th largest ninja village. We Konoha can't lose the Ninetales, otherwise other ninja villages will definitely take the lead in targeting US. Sarutobi Hizen explained bitterly. I see. Tsunade handed the body of Uzumaki Mito to the Senju clan next to him. At this time, the Kainzu clan had not yet died. Although the population was thin, there were still dozens of people. But this seems a bit pitiful. During the Warring States period, the Kainzu clan in the world of forbearance, now there are only a few dozen people left, which is simply miserable. TSK, it's really lively. Don't mind me coming to join in the fun. Rixianchin suddenly appeared on top of Juwai's head and said with a smile, Damn reptile. Get off me quickly. Ninetales ignored the attacks of many ninjas and patted Hixianchin standing on its head. Anyway, those ninjas' ninjutsu can't even break its defense, and the reptile standing on top of its head makes it annoying. It remembered that the last person standing on top of it was Madara Uchiha who it hated the most. The behavior of Rixianchin standing on Juwai's head directly ignited the anger in Juwai's heart, and attacked Rixianchin recklessly. Rixianchin flickered lightly, and then flew high into the sky. Ninetales slapped him on the head with a slap. Not to mention how stupid it felt. Beasts are beasts, even if they can speak human words, they are stupid enough to beat themselves. Rixianchin laughed. Looking at Rixianchin in the sky, Jiwai was furious, staring at Rixianchin with gnashing teeth, wishing to tear him alive. Who are you, and why did you appear in Konoha Ninja Village? Konoha's ninja stopped attacking the Ninetales, and Sarutobi Hizen looked at Hyuga Tatsu floating in the air with a solemn expression. Few in the entire ninja world can fly. It is definitely a headache to encounter such a ninja who can fly. Rixianchin wouldn't be so stupid that he didn't pretend, he just appeared so openly. He used the transformation technique to change his body shape, and he wore the same mask as Obito on his face, but Rixianchin's mask had 2 holes. However, the eye holes have been blocked by the black lenses, and Rixianchin's eyes cannot be seen at all. His eyes are too conspicuous, and it is easy to be recognized without covering them. He was wearing the cape of a pirate world admiral, and was dressed in a stern outfit. If Tsunade didn't know in advance, he would never have recognized it as Rixianchin. This guy is really dressed up, Tsunade whispered secretly. At the same time, she breathed a sigh of relief. She was afraid that Rixianchin would come over without concealment. You don't need to know who I am. Of course I'm here for the beast of Ninetales. Rixianchin sipped a beast, making all the ninjas full of black lines, and the anger of the Ninetales could no longer be controlled. It is a self-proclaimed noble-tailed beast. Except for Uchiha Madara, Rixianchin is the second person to call him a beast. The new hatred and the old hatred were all counted on Rixianchin's head, and the chakra in his mouth condensed, and then formed a tailed beast Jade. The Ninetales did not launch it, but swallowed the tailed beast Jade and used the tailed beast cannon. Unlike tailed beast Jade is similar to Spiral Pill, and tailed beast cannon is a chakra light cannon, sweeping the audience directly, but the nature is the same. Are you angry? Let me see your strength. Suzu. That huge chakra spewed out, and then the chakra materialized, and a Valkyrie wrapped in pitch-black Tengu armor appeared. What Rixianchin used was a complete body Suzu, more than 100 meters tall, and the Ninetales lying on the ground were comparable to Suzu, and they were like children. This, Sarutobi Hizen looked at the giant, with a shocked look on his face that he couldn't believe it. Sarutobi Hizen, as the leader, is already like this, not to mention other ninjas. When Suzu appeared, they recognized it at a glance, and they had seen it with their own eyes 4 years ago. Now it seems that the Suzu they have seen should be a child. This is the real Suzu. It's the Uchiha family again. This family is simply a cancer. Konoha must not leave this cancer behind, Anzang said in a panic. Danzo. Sarutobi Hibiki shouted fiercely. Although there are no Uchiha family members here, the Uchiha family members should be coming soon after such a big movement. If Danzo's words are heard by the Uchiha family, a dispute is absolutely inevitable. Sarutobi, am I wrong? I think this is the conspiracy of the Uchiha family, trying to control the Nine Tails, and then rebel and become Hokage. Danzo kept pouring dirty water on the Uchiha family. I don't know what kind of hatred Danzo and Uchiha have. It's like someone from the Uchiha family gave him a cuckold. Anyway, he took a chance and bit Uchiha. And what Danzo said at this time made some sense. Don't say more, go back first. The three generations didn't want to discuss this. Looking at Susanoo, who split the tailed beast cannon with one knife, he quickly organized the ninja to retreat back. It's not that the three generations gave up, but that they couldn't intervene at all. The two giants fought, and they were the hands of the children. Susanoo, you belong to the Uchiha family, and Uchiha is going to die. Seeing Susanoo, Kyuubi became even more excited. Call your sister. Pick me up, Susanoo, Fuzzin. With Suzu using a stroke, a huge sword slashed diagonally towards the Nine Tails, and the speed was like a stream of light. Nine-tailed pupils shrank, and then flexibly dodged, but it was still a little late. Three tails were cut off, and Nine Tails' defense was useless. After Jianya cut off Juwai's tail, he continued to fly forward, slashing half of the mountain 10 miles away, and then flew into the distance. The Nine Tails cried out in pain. Although the tailed beasts are composed of chakras, they are also creatures and have pain. Kawaii, your strength has disappointed me very much. It's better to show me a little strength to make me excited, otherwise I don't mind hacking you to death. Sun Xianchen was in the crystal above Suzu's head, looking down at the Nine Tails, just like watching a reptile. You are too arrogant. Even Madara Uchiha dare not speak to me like this. Nine Tails roared, and a voice shook the world. If you like this audiobook, subscribe the channel for more videos like this. Leave some comment and let me know if you guys like this story, or you have a web novel you like and want to hear its audiobook. I will be happy to create them for you. Please like, share, and leave a comment on the video.